Today on Fueled Up, we're going to talk about budget builds and whether or not it's okay to cheap out on parts. All right, guys, so welcome back to another episode of Fueled Up. And with me today, of course, like usual, got my boy Sam here. He's been in the last 4 or 5 episodes.
Like a regular on the show.
Yeah, it's nice having you. I appreciate it.
It's very fun.
So,
but, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying cheaping out on parts, right? Define that.
Or, okay, maybe not necessarily like cheaping out. All right, how can I say?
Because the way that I look at this, right, is that there's like 3 or 4 different kind of ways that you could describe this, right?
Definitely.
One, you have like your like Autozone, like universal parts, like the slap-on hood vent. That, like just like ricer mods, right? Then you have like your really just like cheap like eBay like China turbo like max peating rod coilover builds, right? And then you have your like good parts but like gotten cheaply like through like part outs and stuff like that, which is what I personally do.
No, that definitely not like
right.
That last one, if you're just getting like maybe a second second owner part, like you're just
right.
And it's
but
something
it's
that can't something that doesn't really matter, like an exhaust or something like that.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
That's okay.
So that's not what we're talking about.
I'm talking more about like there's a part for your car. Like you said, the max peating rods. Personally,
so
that has me every
We're talking about eBay builds today.
Not on anybody's thing because everybody doesn't always have the budget.
Right.
But there are some things that you could get away with, and some things that you really shouldn't. Like I personally think like cheap lug nuts and like stuff that matters.
I was
like
on cheap lug nuts for like a year.
You're riding on the edge.
Really sketchy stuff. Yeah, no, I can totally feel that. Like
just stuff that could like honestly injure you or like someone else on the road.
Okay, I totally understand what we're talking about now. Okay,
but like if you're trying to eBay turbo your Civic and see like how much boost you can make before it explodes, that's fun. Like I'm down. I'm in that.
Like Mighty Car Mods right now is doing a eBay turbo Toyota Yaris. Hashtag Yaris Hilton. But it was like I just watched the episode today. They made they said it in kilowatts, so I don't know, but kilowatts of power.
Can someone? I'll try to. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen.
The conversion rate to that makes no sense to me as an American, but but like they put down some pretty decent power, some good boost levels.
Do you remember the number they put down?
No, stop, man.
I was gonna say added a damn Yaris.
Like 125 kilowatts of
power.
Yeah. but no, like seriously, like they had like for a cheap turbo, but then again, they did a cheap turbo, but then they also pointed out the fact, and they were very adamant about it, where like we have a cheap turbo, but then everything else on this that supports that is crazy expensive. Like it's $169 turbo, but everything else that goes into it's like a couple grand.
Yeah.
Like you need like a ECU, you need your downpipe, you need an intercooler, you need all the piping for it, you need wall valve, like that kind of stuff. But the actual like main part itself was an eBay turbo, and I mean,
well, nothing against eBay turbos or anything, because I'm pretty sure the Boosted Boys, his red Civic hatch, like one of the first cars that blew up his channel, I'm pretty sure it's still on eBay turbo, and it made like 700 wheel or something.
I mean,
and
kind of reliable.
I'm trying to think. I know somebody. I feel like I just saw someone that twin turboed something with eBay turbo. Boosted Boys again. He just twin turboed an MR2, but the turbos are eBay, but everything else is like K-tuned, like all like great stuff in it. And I think the thing made over 1,000 wheel in a freaking MR2.
The way that I think about it is that you could have your like eBay turbo, right? And for the price of like a Garrett, you could buy like 7 eBay turbos.
You could.
You know what I mean? So if that eBay turbo blows, as long as it doesn't do like catastrophic damage to the engine, right? You can theoretically just keep replacing it with like, because even a Garrett can blow.
Yeah. Oh, anything.
You know what I mean? Like,
honestly,
even like
anything
a good
could.
Quality turbo can explode.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't, just because it's got a name on it doesn't mean anything.
It's true. Very true.
You know, just like, I mean, max peating rod coilovers. I have a couple friends that are on them. I have a couple friends that are on like Godspeed or like some like Megan Racing, whatever.
Yeah. I know Raceland just made them for the Focus.
Racelands actually are pretty good.
I'm still going BC.
Yeah, no, BC all the way. Like, but don't get me wrong. Like BC coilovers, it's $1,000, but like
they could.
I've still seen them bend.
Yeah,
I've still
of course.
seen parts shear on them. Like,
well,
if you hit good enough potholes.
Yeah, not to get off topic, but I know BC. The one good thing about them is that they're rebuildable.
Yes.
So like you don't need to come out of pocket for a whole another coilover.
Exactly.
You can kind of just get what you screwed up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's awesome.
But my thing is that if you hit a bad enough pothole where you break a coilover, you just replace the whole coilover. Don't even bother rebuilding it. It's not worth it.
My friend Dennis with the Jeep, he has another friend with a 350, and I believe he was on, what's the brand? HKS.
Okay.
He was on HKS coilovers.
Okay.
I believe.
He'll
probably tell me if I'm wrong or whatever.
Coilovers,
I think it was HKS, and he literally, New York roads, he bent one.
Yeah.
And they weren't gonna do anything. I think he spent like almost $2,000 on these coilovers. Like that is. He's BC now.
I think that there's sometimes like there's a good middle of the road that you can go with where it's not insanely expensive, but it's still kind of like BCs are kind of budget, right? In my opinion, they're the high end of the budget, and that's what I really think there is that there's like it's okay if you spend that extra money to justify like, all right, well, BC Racing, they're not HR coilovers, they're not like KW coil, you know what I mean? But they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're like, they get the job done and they're not insanely expensive. But like on the other side, they're not the really cheap stuff like Chinesium.
Yeah.
You know, the threading comes stripped from the factory.
Oh my God.
Like that.
Before you even put them on.
Yeah. Like those are the ones that are like really sketchy. And I've seen them and I put them on people's cars and I'm like, no. You don't want these.
Honestly, I would be like, oh, dude, I'm helping you with this, but you got to sign a waiver that I'm not liable
but like,
for.
Then there's even companies where like ST suspension, right? And I hate calling companies out, but like they use plastic lock rings on their coilovers, which is wild to me.
Yeah, that's kind of
like, I mean, I've seen them on a bunch of people's cars and people swear by them. Ken Block is sponsored by them. But I see them and I'm like, but again, that's on their like they have their low end and then they have their high end, mid-end, you know what I mean? But like even on their mid end ones, they still have plastic lock rings. Like the actual part that like locks the height of the coilover. Yeah, that's plastic.
That's a little sketchy.
I know.
Because I feel like, eventually with your car going like this over and over and over, it's kind of like
and hitting good old fashioned New York City potholes. We love New York City potholes.
Oh, I love them so much. And they're front plate. Oh,
yeah. God, front plates. Don't get me started on front plate. So getting back to like AutoZone stick-on hood scoops.
Stick-on hood scoops.
Okay. I know a lot of people that do this. Like too many people. Well, I don't personally know them. I see them on the road, right? Like all day, every day I see them, right? And I mean, they look terrible, right? You're dying.
I'm literally just trying not to die back here.
They look horrible. But then I see some people where like they take that like one like universal stick-on piece and then they make a whole build on it. And I want to point out one car that's on Long Island that everyone sees at car meets now.
I'll put it in.
We'll put a picture of his car. Bayshore Cowboy. All right. He has, like those like stick-on chrome stickers?
Yeah, I've seen it.
He has all of them. Like every single one.
If like AutoZone is sold out, that's why.
He has like a Mercedes-Benz like SLK or whatever it is. Like
an older one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the older like convertible like roadster Mercedes-Benz. And it has every single stick-on thing that you can imagine. And like his personality totally fits his car. And it's to the point where like even though they are like crappy like AutoZone stick-on chrome stickers and it's like a very like universal parts build, it's a build. Like it's like I respect the hell out of it because like he went from like that like one or two like stickers on it to now it's insane. And I think that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
If you just put the AutoZone hood scoop on because it's completely non-functional, it's totally pointless.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying. But then, like, once you just start throwing everything on, it's like just...
an actual build going on. Like, he's got, like, wheels. Who knows what they are? But he's got like.
Hopefully, he's got real lug nuts.
Yeah.
Because that just gives me anxiety.
Yeah. No, but like I think that like there's a point where like your build can become something big, right? Even with universal parts like that. But then there's also like other builds where I'm just like, why do people even bother? Like the wings, right? Like spoilers and like the garden trim front splitters.
Oh my God. Hey, people are friggin' out here being innovative and like, you know, they're making things happen.
Yeah, no, totally. But please stop putting wings on your front wheel drive Civics. It's not a good look for any of us. It's just not. You know, and don't get me wrong. Like, okay, so I'm gonna tie this back into my first car, right? I had a 2005 Ford Taurus, right? My build consisted of plastic tip wheels, classic,
solid,
right?
Solid,
black plastic tip.
Oh,
all right,
definitely solid.
Okay. Mud flaps. Okay, I had some rubber mud flaps. They flapped.
Oh, they were like
that.
those like
They
really
were like,
super
they were
rubbery
rally car mud flaps. Yes, yeah. 100%.
They were like straight back as you were driving.
Yeah. Like I made brackets for them. Like I welded stuff together. Like it was like, you know,
but it was a learning experience.
Exactly.
Though.
Yes. I had like a roof rack on it that's actually currently on Rich's Subaru.
That's where his roof rack went?
Yes.
That's great.
That's where my roof rack went.
Hey.
It went onto his Escape, and then now it's on a Subaru with the light bar still on it. It's pretty bad.
Honestly, though, it fits Rich's car.
Yeah.
I did not know like that was the one from your car.
Yeah,
like I thought Rich
originally off the
genuinely
Taurus.
got one for like a Subaru Outback.
Yeah,
But
no. That's off my Taurus. It's a perfect fit on his car.
that's what I'm saying. Ford to
Yeah.
Subaru. What's up?
Yeah.
It fits.
So I had that. I had like light bars on it. It was so bad.
I remember the one thing I remember about that car. Sorry to cut you. The sticker bomb dash was awesome.
So good.
There were so many stickers that it was like
a half an inch thick of like slapping on stickers on it. I remember when I sold that car, I tried so hard to get all the stickers off like in one sheet. It didn't come off because a lot of them were so brittle from like being in the sun all day. Like they were like sun bleached, right? Like
they were there
like
for a while.
white. Yeah, it was bad. But like that was a good time. That was like my favorite part of the car too, I think. But still, like, end of the story, right? Even though the parts were crap, I still had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was still like a good car.
Yeah.
But I also didn't try to make it anything that it wasn't. You know, I knew exactly what it was, and a show car it was not. All right.
Maybe that's like that might be like the whole difference.
I think that's the takeaway of this.
And like when you
can use cheap parts or budget parts, and you could still get away with, you know, you can still get away with it as long as you're not trying to pass it off as like a race car or a show build or something like that.
Yeah, you know, you're just having fun with it. That was the main point of it. You know,
if you're a kid and it's your first car, like go out and get that AutoZone hood scoop. If it makes you happy, if it makes you feel like it's a race car, that's what it's all about. Life's too short to drive a boring car, so you go right ahead.
That is true, honestly.
You know,
so not even like, just disclaimer, not to shit on anyone with anything, because like
we're not making fun of you.
Not at all.
Bay Shore Cowboy, we love you. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, that thing, he gets so much attention.
I'm gonna send this to him.
You should. You let him know we like shouted him out in it. That's great.
Yes.
But I doubt half of the people that like, you know,
absolutely.
It's all right though. It's all right. We'll get there. It's okay. It happens. But yeah, I think that's definitely what like separates it. Is like when you know, like you were in it just to have fun. And I didn't like now we're more on like a super close friendship level. But like back then I still knew Luca, who knew you, like on that level.
Right.
And like you were just straight up having fun with that thing. Like I always saw like your videos, photos, or whatever. Like
the hell out of that car. I was jumping it off like loading docks and stuff. Like, dude, like my exhaust fell off that car. Like I got a straight pipe via Mother Nature. All right,
Mother Nature.
It rusted off, right? And I left it on the side of the road. Actually, no, I left it in my college campus parking lot.
We gotta go back and get it.
No, it's in a dumpster. So it's already in a trash heap. All right,
it's gone.
But like, yeah, no, we went at it with like cordless sawzalls from Harbor Freight, like just getting it off.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, no, it was so much fun.
And for like a first car, when you are learning all these things, and there are all these things that you're gonna mess up, why
a
risk
fantastic learning
ruining?
experience.
Yeah, like why risk ruining, some expensive actual like build, which you're gonna end up getting made fun of for that too, because now you're just ricing out this nice car or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
The AutoZone stickies. This popped up when you were talking.
Yes.
Dude, New York people definitely get this. The taxis, but like not the yellow, not the yellow taxis.
The black like livery cabs.
Yeah, like the black those ones.
Yes.
Like the Accords, whatever it is.
Yeah,
they're
Camrys.
always decked
It's always a
out.
Camry.
Like one of them on the back of it. I was driving one day, and this thing literally, I think it was like supposed to be, like it was a chrome, like long strip that might have just been like to put along your body line to like for whatever it may be. And this dude literally covered his entire trunk around his license plate. Was just full of them. And
Do you think it's just because like they're bored and they have nothing else to do? And
I
like
don't
that's
know.
just what
That's what I don't get.
Yeah, like I literally don't understand it. And like, not to like say like anyone that does it is like wrong for doing it, but like I just don't get it. Like I don't see the appeal of it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like underglow for me. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, like
it
you know,
looks
like
kind of cool, but I don't get it.
like with anything, my brother, he always tells me like take your Instagram tags off your car. Like if people know your car from Instagram, they'll know your car. Like
that's cool.
Don't do that. And I'm like, hey man, like leave me alone. Like that's not your thing. That's my thing. So I guess in that case, the same way with like the hood scoops or whatever it may be. But I want to touch upon like cheaping out on parts that, like I said before, like that could really end up like hurting you or someone else.
Dangerous car modification.
Yeah, that's more like what I emphasize when I say like cheap parts is like if you're gonna, I gotta get an example here. Like if you're gonna get a shift knob,
right?
That's $20 or whatever from Wish or whatever the hell it may be.
Oh God, Wish.
That's fine because it's a shift knob. The most you're gonna do
when you want to order a car part and get it in 2 months, Wish sponsor. I'm kidding.
Well, no, like the most you're gonna end up doing is like if you bang forth or something, you're gonna throw it at the passengers.
I've been in a car like that.
like that's all. So again, like brakes, like please don't
God.
cheap out on brakes.
No, please
like
don't.
like stuff like that.
Like minimum stop tech.
That's all.
All right, like minimum. But yeah, no, like I can get behind that where it's like safety stuff, even like cheap wheels. Like I've seen people hit potholes, crack
a wheel. Yeah,
like it's dangerous. Tires. Like, please do not go for cheap tires. Like the Star Run, Windstar, whatever they are. Like my girlfriend, she works at Pep Boys, and she's telling me how like a lot of people go for like the cheapest tire they can get, and it's literally like they made up names. It's like
just pick them out of a hat.
Yeah. And they're like these Chinese tire. Like why would you go for cheap tires?
Like that's something that like your life is depending on.
Contact the road and control life and death of you and people around.
Yeah. Like let's say it's like my thing, like if you have like summer tires on or like all seasons, like I know you're still on summers, but you're different. Whatever, forget it.
Around, I don't care.
Forget it. You're something else. But like when the weather's in that point where it's like up and down, so it's like super hot in the morning, like 70s, but now out of nowhere at nighttime, you're driving home and it's raining and it's like 50. That could be potentially dangerous.
Right. And I realize that. Ask me if I can. No, I like how my 1552s look, and I do have like snow tires, like ice scarred tire, whatever they are.
Yeah,
they're from Yokohama. They're pretty good actually.
I mean, I have my all seasons on, but they're like 20,000+ miles and like first, second gear
my
rips.
My only thing is that they're not like they're on my stock wheels. I don't have any tire sensors in them. They're kind of annoying. Like I don't like how they look. And honestly, at this point with global warming, we're getting like 1, maybe 2 snowfalls a year in New York now. And the rest of it's just cold weather and slush.
It has been nuts. It is literally the beginning of February here. And I know.
And it is currently 40 degrees outside.
Yeah. Like there's been season openers and stuff like car meets in like in our areas and shit. And it's like. Or something. Like what the hell? Like it's the middle of January. Like shouldn't you be snowing right now?
I know. Back in the day, it would be like we'd have like foot high snowfalls, and that's where you need it.
Yeah, that's when it all comes in. And like maybe not like cheaping out on parts, because then like you may like work. I'm a college kid right now.
Right. Yeah.
I work, go to school. Like not everybody has the money to go out and buy like the top quality part. But like if you see something that's wear and tear on your car that's going wrong.
Yeah.
That like if the cords on your tires are showing.
Been there, done that.
Like don't go buy, like don't put a sound system in your car before you like put some tires on your car. Like that could be another reason when I say like cheap out on parts. That I think is another reason.
But like also like I mentioned this before, you'd be surprised what you could find on, you know, if you're on what's that app called? Let Go. If you're like on like, you know, any of these like local selling apps, but like even like checking your local like specific car, like for me I have Fiesta ST. We have a Fiesta Focus group chat, right? When someone's parting their car out, when someone wrecks their car, like we know about it and we're like, hey, can I get that part off the car? And I hate doing that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you just hit a deer, hey, part out? You know, like,
all those memes on Instagram and stuff.
But like it's kind of because like it helps them out because they might have to like pay off insurance and
whatever it may be,
and the car's totaled or whatever. And there might be some decent parts that you can get off it, like an intercooler. If it's a rear end and incident, and you have, you know, intercooler and piping,
like a whole front end worth of parts,
right?
Go for
Sell
it.
it off, yeah, exactly.
100%.
You know, or wheels and tires, whatnot, like that always works too. So, yeah, that's a really good way to get good parts for cheap, and I'm 100%. I've done that. I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's just, you know, in the car community, that's how it just literally just how it goes.
Commonplace, and I think that you'd be better off doing that than getting cheap parts to begin with.
Yeah, buying the quality part.
Unless you have a car where like there's no aftermarket support for it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Then, which I mean happens all the time.
Yeah, you know? Then you got to grab that universal part from AutoZone and like make it work or something, or just fab everything up. But thank you guys so much for joining us on that episode. It was honestly really fun. Sam, thank you again for coming by.
This is a great topic. I love this.
It was really fun.